The pieces moved across the board, while Ainz watched from the shadows. Demiurge continued moving pieces across the board, like a grandmaster playing against the world itself. The demon's mind was always racing 10 steps ahead. To him, chaos wasn't a threat, it was a tool. And now, with Ainz absent from direct command, Demiurge saw a chance to accelerate his vision. But first, a report came in. An individual matching Ainz's appearance had been sighted far away, hundreds of miles north near the human nations. But the man was acting out of character, not at all like the ruthless overlord of Net. What was he doing there? Was it a spy or an imposter? Demiurge pondered this as he met with the others. He laid out his idea. Instead of striking openly, what if they manipulated an entire kingdom into collapsing from within? Not through war, but through fear. Engineered unrest, blaming it on an invented underground group. Then pose Nazarick as the only force capable of restoring order. A classic problem, reaction, solution. Tactic Albedo approved. She saw Demiurge's genius and trusted him. Sometimes even too much. She held faith that every move Demiurge made reflected Ainz's true will, even when Ainz had no idea those plans existed. Cocytus listened intently. He would need to be ready to quell any disturbance in the northern territories to prove Nazarick's power. He would personally train elite units from the Lizardman tribes. They would become Nazarick's sword, loyal warriors who weren't just strong, but also symbolic. For Ainz Ulgon, even low-born creatures could evolve into disciplined, powerful champions. Mare, ever industrious, nodded. She would continue terraforming a section of forest. Nothing would grow there for now, but eventually she would build a hidden fortification. It would serve as Nazarick's forward base when the next continent expansion began. In all of this, Ainz was silent. He observed how his lieutenants interpreted his intentions. Sometimes he marveled at their efficiency. Other times he was confused how they reached conclusions he never even imagined. But the results spoke for themselves. Nazarick's influence was growing. Kingdoms whispered his name in fear. Merchants bowed at the mention of it. Even rival nations began debating treaties not with humans, but with Nazarick directly, as if it were a sovereign entity beyond mortal rule. Demiurge, however, was not finished. The thought of someone impersonating Ainz gnawed at him. It was more than a threat to their secrecy. It was an attack on Nazarick's identity. An identity, to a kingdom built on fear and image, was everything. He decided to act, quietly, brutally, completely. Demiurge began crafting a trap to kill the faker and expose whoever sent them. It would be a masterpiece of manipulation, a web of deceit so intricate that even Ainz might question Demiurge's methods. Because when loyalty runs too deep, even allies can become monsters in the name of devotion. Meanwhile, Cocytus began training his vanguard, whipping the Lizardman warriors into shape. Their discipline was lacking, their tactics rudimentary. But Cocytus saw potential, raw strength waiting to be honed. Under Nazarick's banner, they would become a force to be reckoned with. As for Mare, she continued her work, shaping the land without a sound, planting the seeds for Nazarick's future expansion. She was a general, a brilliant tactician, but her specialty was forging the foundations of victory long before the battle began. And so, Nazarick moved, not with a roar, but with the quiet precision of a predator stalking its prey. Every step carefully calculated, every action designed to increase their power, their influence, their terror. The stage was set for the next act of the Sorcerer King's game. The pieces were in place. All that remained was for the master puppeteer to pull the strings. But where was he? Watching from afar, hidden in the shadows, or perhaps he was here all along, observing his creations with a detached amusement, knowing that in the grand game of worlds, Nazarick and its servants were merely pawns in his hands.